Welcome to Idle Talk. I'm Fernando, joined by...
Fabrian, the real Don, realist Don.
Again, he's filling in for my usual co-host, Joanne, a.k.a. Valdez the Don. Ooh.
Boo.
Boo. Fucking go on vacation for.
Boo, you suck.
I hate that you're enjoying yourself.
Fuck you.
But today we're talking about having children, our childhoods, and let's just see where we go from there. So, okay. Let me explore Fabrian as a child.
Okay.
Let me know. Tell me who you were as a child.
I think I was a very weird child.
Okay. Weird as in like you would be cool if you were a child now, or like
for sure, yeah.
Okay.
But back then, the shit I liked wasn't considered cool. So
okay.
I think I was a very weird child. I think I tried my best to fit into the cool kid mold, even though I was nothing like that. I think as a kid, I grew up not having actual things. Like, all the things I was into weren't things that actually interested me, but I did it because that was the cool thing to do.
Okay.
So, like, examples like sports and things like that, back then were considered so, like,
you had to do
insane to, like, be a cool kid. And as someone who grew up with asthma, that shit was hard. To try to keep up with everybody who like could just like run no problem and do sports no problems. And I was out here trying to like not die and do sports. So
not collapse.
Yeah, basically I was like wheezing over like anything. Would run for like a little bit. I'm like dying the whole time. I think like my thing was as a kid was like, thank God video games have always been like cool for children because I loved video games as a kid. I didn't always have the coolest video game though. That was my issue, right? So when everyone was getting like the newest consoles, I was getting 2-generation consoles back.
Same.
And I've been like, yeah, this shit is dope. Having the PlayStation 1 when the PlayStation like 3 was out and shit. Not even because I was not a kid when those consoles came out. But like, I remember having like the PlayStation 2 and the GameCube when like the Xbox 360 and like the PlayStation 3 were out, and all my friends were on Xbox, and I was still like on PlayStation 2. Like, this is all I can afford because like I've my childhood was never what's the word, like there was never any like luxury. It was always like
necessities.
Yeah. So anytime I would be able to get like something that wasn't necessarily like for bills or food, things that my mother would get me, it'd always be like things that were cheap at the time. So and all power to my mother who was raising mad children at the time, right?
Yeah. How many?
There was 3 of us for a very long time, just my mom and 3 of us. Then it became 4. So she was raising 4 children for most of her life, just by herself, zero help. Again, like I like you guys were saying in one episode before, like women, that's like the ideal to me of like a powerful ass woman, someone who could hold shit down without like the help
needing
of anyone.
Somebody else.
Yeah. It's very inspiring, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I grew up originally very, very poor. Like I think today I am middle class or I'm comfortable. I have things. I have excess money to buy things that I enjoy or things that I.
Because you work.
Yeah,
right.
Correct.
You don't got a family. You don't got kids. You just you.
Yeah, but as a kid, none of that. I think. I was always jealous of people who had so much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, as a kid, I had nothing besides, like, I shared a room for 18 years of my life because we could never afford a room, like an extra room just for me. Yeah. And I think I went, like, my whole life without, like, an actual birthday party.
Yeah.
Per se. Like, I remember, like, growing up around people who would get, like, extravagant birthday parties and shit like that. And I get so jealous. I'm like, damn, bro, like, if only like my family just was more well off. And me not understanding at the time why it was so hard for me to have what other people had as a kid, because I didn't really understand the concept of money, right? To me, like $100 was like insane.
Yeah, felt like $1 million, right?
It felt I didn't understand the concept
of money and how you get it and how much work it takes to
and how much it affects your life.
Like, how much does $100 feel like right now?
Change, bro. She's like, it feels like
$20.
Yeah, because you work, and then it poof.
Yeah, it's gone.
I think every bill is at least $100.
Yeah.
To the point that it really doesn't feel like much, but as a kid, $100 was so much.
You could do so much with $100.
Yeah, bro. You walk into like a candy store or a dollar store, and you could buy everything because everything was $1. So you felt that it was so much money, right? And like, right. So when people would be like, "Oh yeah, I just got the new Xbox 360," and shit was like $300. I'm like, "Oh god,"
it was like $600.
Whoo! I was like, "That's wild. How the fuck y'all got that type of money?" Not realizing
that's like 17 birthdays.
Yeah, exactly. Not even realizing it, right? Because like, I was just like, "Damn, I could never like that. Could never be me."
Yeah.
Right. I'd always have to like piggyback off all my friends, go to their houses, play video games, and then play outside. I think that was most of my entertainment. But like, yeah, like I mostly would just, as a kid, watched anime and fucking play video games. And I'd go outside and play with my friends a lot, which I think is sorely missing in this day and age as kids.
Going outside.
Yeah, I don't think people go out like to hang out anymore.
I know.
At least
right?
I don't see it.
It's all these child predators just kidnapping kids, man. Just ruining childhood experiences.
Because I have vivid memories of going out like biking or skateboarding or like just fucking about as a kid, and like I don't see that with my sister. I don't see that with most kids these days. It's just all I'm gonna stay at home.
The child predator thing might have been a joke for a little bit, but kind of really think about it now. 2021, things are getting more advanced.
For sure, yeah.
Like
it's way easier to be a predator.
Yeah,
you can like creep on kids online without ever getting revealed,
without revealing who you are. It's always been like that, really. But now, this day and age, technology is advancing. Fake profiles are becoming better and better every day. Shit is real, exactly, dude. Catfishing is a serious problem. So now, I guess, people are more like maybe scared of kind of
being out all the time,
letting their child be outside for 8 hours a day. Because I remember being outside fucking all day. My mom would let me. I think the one issue me and my mother always had, she'd always ask me to come home before I went out. Yeah. And I never wanted to go home. I'd go out of school and I'd just start hanging out. And she'd be like, "Yo," she wanted confirmation that you alive. Yeah. She'd be like, "Come home, then you can go out." Yeah. But I'm like, "Yo, I don't want to walk all the way home and then come back. And it's kind of close to my school already.
Like, it's mad far." So I'd never come home. And I come home at like 8 o'clock. She'd beat my ass. Every time she'd beat my ass.
She's like, "If nobody killed you, I'm gonna kill you."
Pretty much. Remember, you know those like decorative like glass fruits? Yeah. That some Hispanic moms have. Mm-hmm. Remember one day I came home.
It's a staple.
One day I came
she
home
hit you
late.
with them shit?
She threw one at my head, dog.
And did it hit?
Beamed it. The shit hit so hard.
Did it break?
Yeah, it broke. Not on my head, but when it hit the ground.
You don't hit the ground, yeah.
That I remember how much that shit hurt. And my mom would always do like, I come home late. She just, first thing she got in her hand, she's going to toss at me. Yeah, that was the first thing she tossed. Remember, she tossed a plátano at me one time too because she was cooking. She tossed one of those at me. But the glass fruit, no joke, bro. A glass apple wrecked my whole head out.
Change your life.
Yeah, and things like that too. Like I grew up with people whose parents weren't as strict as mine, and I didn't get that either. Mm-hmm. It blew my mind to see how disrespectful some children were to their parents and get away with it without any repercussions.
Fuck you, mom.
Yeah, shit like that.
I don't want this apple juice. I said I want fucking orange juice, you cunt.
It blew my mind. Yeah. Like, I'd go to like my white friends' houses or like anyone like that. Like, cause I all my black friends never. Mm-hmm. They would never disrespect their parents, just like Hispanic people. Yeah. I go to a white person's house, dude, and like they just like yell at their parents, and the mom be like, "Okay," and walk away, and I'd be stunned. I'd be like, "How are you not dead, bro?" Yeah. I was like, if I even raise my voice to my mother, I come to school tomorrow in crutches, dog. Like that's wild,
bro. I'm so traumatized for having the TV volume high that like I feel like my ears have adapted to like level 7 being really loud.
Yeah, like I think my max is 20, and if I pass 20, bro, I'm like, this is mad goddamn bro.
11 be loud as fuck. My sister be putting this shit up to like 40. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? It's loud as fuck. I'm gonna bring that shit back down to 7. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I think I have the same trauma, bro. Because I remember my stepfather at the time, who was a taxi driver for New York. Yeah, he'd work at nights and come home in the morning and then knock out. And if we made a peep of noise, bro, he'd lose his goddamn mind. He'd lose his mind. So I think I got accustomed to never making any noise. Yeah. So yeah, I get that on that. Yeah, but like kids just have it so different nowadays. Like, do you see a difference between the way your mother raised you and how your mother is now raising your sister?
Yes, for sure.
Because that's how I see it.
It's they lose their prime. Like,
yeah.
But like back when like my mom used to be Floyd Mayweather with the shit.
Yeah, with the chancla, bro.
It'd be like a Naruto fight. Like, she'd be like dodging the hits and shit. Like it'd be like that was me when I was younger. Now my mom don't even do none of that. To my sister.
I mean, my mom used to be like the greatest of all time with the chocolate. She'd be a martial artist with it, dog. And now my sister be saying some crazy shit.
You'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm like, what? And my mom just be like, Fabrian, and then walks away.
Yeah.
Dude, with me or my brother or my older sister, like with me or my older siblings, we'd get wrecked.
Yeah.
If we ever even spoke back to her, bro.
No problem.
I'm just, and I always tell my sister, I'm like, you got it lucky, dog. You lucky like mommy's old now.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly. That's what I was telling my cousin.
Like, that's wild how you be getting away with the shit that you be getting away with, man. Because I could never at my age. I think my mom, no, because I know people are going to look at it and be like, oh, your mother was abusive or whatever the case may be, right? No, she wasn't. Like, it was never to a point where I was like actually like injured or something like that. It was always for discipline. She never just beat my ass to beat my ass. It always was a lesson, and it taught me to respect her and respect other people in that sense of the term. But like, I don't know if I was going to that. I lost my train of thought. But
just comparing how it was never abusive.
Yeah,
the discipline. It was more.
It's made me the person I am today, right? Like, I'm not.
It built character.
I'm not disrespectful to anyone unless you're disrespectful to me.
Yeah.
And it's been like that because my mother taught me that, right? And she beat it in me, and my mom wouldn't beat me just to beat me. It was always like, oh, you did something wrong. This is the consequence to it, right? And then I was like, all right, now I know not to do that thing that was wrong. Yeah. But I feel like with like my sister here, she just...
You think she just needs one good ass whooping?
Dude, for sure. I think if my sister grew up in my mom's prime, she'd be the most well-behaved person I've ever known in my life. Because like, she just gets away with everything, and I think, like, I remember what I was trying to say over there. Like, my mom beat me until I was bigger than her, because my mom's pretty fucking short now, and I'm 6 feet. So once I got bigger than her, and like her hits didn't hurt no more, she was like, I give up. Yeah. And there's nothing I can do now, but
unless she just ups her game and starts getting like weapons,
crazy shit. My mom always beat me with weapons,
like a baseball bat or something.
No, that's bugging out.
Like, you want to be bigger than me? Bop.
But
let me take you down a peg.
She like eventually just was like, yeah, I'm done hitting you. Like, you way too big to be getting hit.
Yeah.
And I never took that as
it wasn't out of respect. It was like, I physically can't hurt you no more. So
exactly, basically. But again, I didn't take advantage of that. I wasn't like, aha, you can't hit me no more, I'm gonna be disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all those lessons that she taught me from before, they were deep rooted. Yeah. Like, I don't disrespect my mom unless I'm joking around with her. Like, right? I'll be like, whatever, woman or something, like, just joking around, then we'll both laugh. But she knows that it's never disrespectful. Yeah. It's just, and like, that's the problem with today's day and age. Like, you can't discipline your child anymore because everything is viewed as abuse, and at times, yes, right? Because
I mean, it's viewed that way because it's the cases of maybe when it really is
with the extremes, yeah,
or like when a child dies,
yeah,
that is always going to outweigh the cases that
nothing
bad happens, and it should outweigh it, because it can lead to that. Remember, you're an adult and you're physically beating a child, and sometimes the child is never going to be as strong as the adult in those situations until you grow older and
but that's what I'm saying. I think it's different for everyone. Experience is different, right? Because some people become really traumatized to that type of shit. Yeah. And I agree. That's why we shouldn't beat our children and we shouldn't do all that other stuff.
It just depends on how your child is, right? If your child will react better to verbal, maybe discipline. I don't want to say abuse, but verbal discipline. Yeah. Then obviously go that route, because maybe there isn't a need for like physical discipline. Yeah. Right. Or if they respond better to you having a conversation with them, telling them why it's wrong, why it's right, like what to do. If that's how your child is able to receive information, then that's how you should do it. But I think at the end of the day, most physical abuse probably comes out from the lack of knowledge of that. Yeah. And maybe frustration.
No, for sure. I think it is a cycle, right? Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure my mom got beat when she was younger, and so she saw it as...
They got beat worse.
Yeah, and she saw it
They got actually physically abused.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
For the most part.
And then they grew up thinking that was okay, and so they did it. Right. And me, on the other hand, I know.
But you would. I don't think you would ever get beat like how your parents got.
Oh
beat.
no, I would never beat my children. Period. Like,
yeah, no, I'm saying like your mom didn't beat you like her mom beat her. I would say. Is that safe to assume?
I don't know.
Because I definitely know my mom has told that to me.
My mom has told me horror stories. Yeah. And I meet my grandma. My grandma's the sweetest little old lady.
She's
ever.
the old lady.
I'm like, there's no way this sweet little old lady. There's no way this sweet little old lady ever did anything to you. But yeah, you're right. It's like
we always
ignorance is bliss thing.
Take it a step back when we're the discipliners, because I feel like maybe they remember when they were beat and they're like, all right, I'm not gonna hit them that one extra time because I know that maybe that one will fuck them up. But like
that one hit that's gonna ruin them.
Yeah.
But yeah, my mom. If you ever, it's called like being in cow, where like you're like kneeling and your arms are like straight up onto the wall.
Yeah.
You have to just sit like that or like kneel like that for mad long.
Damn.
You ever do that? No.
No.
So I think it's in Dominican culture or Spanish culture in general. She used to do that to us, like just as a punishment. She wouldn't hit us. She'd just make us sit like kneel, and with our hands up, and you'd get tired. And if you like went down or you brought your arms out, then you'd get hit. So you were conditioned to constantly keep your hands up until she was like, okay,
you've been a good basketball player.
You've suffered. No, I'm garbage at basketball.
You've been good at defense, though. Keep the hands up.
And I remember I don't remember what the hell I did, but I know me and my siblings did something like crazy. I think like we stole from a store, and I think like the store person knew my mother like personally and just called her and told her. And then like we were kneeling on rice, dude, for so long to the point like where the rice like pierced our knees, and, like we started bleeding. Just crazy shit, which I know it sounds insane. Is like, oh, your mother abused you, right?
It'll sound insane to the
average view, like
to the different demographic, but like to the people that have done it, like, yeah, not that bad.
Like, but that's what I'm saying. Everyone's built different, right? Because like, I'm not traumatized from that. I don't resent my mom for any of like this shit. Like, she did the best she could with what she had. Right, so that's why I'm not that like crazy about it, and I know I'm not like traumatized like some other people are, who like get beat and then like it stays with them for the rest of their life, and that's
you could say it did stay with you the rest of your life based on how you treat people now.
I guess, but it's
not traumatic.
Yeah, it's not.
But it has stayed with you. You're like, I'm not disrespectful to people that aren't disrespectful to me. Like the way you do things.
I don't steal now.
It stays with
straight
you.
up. That shit taught me not to steal. I was like, oh, this sucks. I never want to do this again, and I never stole again.
Yeah. Fucking thief.
I think it was like a ball or something. I don't remember. But yeah, and like that's why like I see the pros and cons to that type of parenting, right? Like there are pros, at least for some people, and there are cons. Mostly cons, because I think in today's world, the
cons will always outweigh the pros.
Yeah, I think in today's day and age, I don't think that way of raising a child is productive. That's why I don't think I would.
It's a different generation of people now.
I think talking it out is more
appropriate.
Yeah, and it helps.
Usually solves any issues.
And it also helps with.
And it's always been that way.
Communication, because I think. In today's day and age, communication is so bad with people. Mm-hmm. People don't know how to communicate when they're in relationships or friendships.
Have you run into people that don't know how to hold a conversation in person?
Yeah,
it's
I mean, it depends, man. Because there's times where I'm really interested in the conversation and I hold it. Mm-hmm. Times where I don't give a shit, and it's just I'm the one who's not pulling the weight, and it's just it happens. Yeah, it just happens, and I'm trying to be as nice as I possibly can about this situation, but I don't really care. And it just happens, bro. I might be talking to someone, and to me, whatever I'm talking about is OD for interesting to me, and they don't care, and I get it.
Yeah,
it happens.
Yeah.
But yes, I think communication. If you speak to your child, it will help them better communicate the way they feel. Yeah. About certain situations or
certain things
for the future. Yeah. So it's something that I had to learn the hard way, because again,
that's the way you would have learned it.
It's the way I had to learn.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to communicate the way I felt to anyone for the longest time.
Okay.
Because in a Hispanic household, it was not in a household where no one speaks about how they feel about certain situations. I never learned how to do that. So there was a lot of things that I would struggle with when it came to relationships outside of my family or even in my family. I never knew how to speak about how I felt because it was never taught to me, or how do I put it, like
maybe it wasn't prioritized.
Yeah, I can think on like my hands of how many times I hugged my mother as a kid.
Okay.
Right, and because of that, hugs with anyone just seem weird to me unless it's with someone who I'm romantically involved in, and that shouldn't be the case, right? Hugs don't necessarily have to be anything but a show of like admiration or love or affection, right? But because I wasn't hugged so much as a kid, which
sounds bad.
It sounds bad, yes.
I feel like a lot of childhood stories would sound that way. But it's up to us to change that.
Correct,
though.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I didn't understand that it was like such a bad thing to not be hugged so much, right? I didn't get it until eventually I was like, oh, it's actually something that I struggle with now, right?
Receiving hugs?
No, giving hugs. Okay. Because like I don't really give anyone hugs, and when I do, it's weird to me.
It's like, oh.
It feels weird, right? And I want to make it to the point where like it doesn't feel weird.
So you mean hugging strangers or associates, acquaintances?
Anyone, right? Like,
so even significant others?
No. Significant others is where like I've gotten comfortable with hugging them, right? Because when I'm in a relationship, I'm usually in a relationship for a very long time, and I get comfortable with it, right? But like with people like let's say like I've gotten a lot better with my cousin like Joang. I'll hug Joang and I'm like, that's cool, right? But I've known my baby sister her whole life, and I barely hug her.
Me too. And I'm uncomfortable with that too.
Yeah,
with my sister.
And I don't know, and I don't know why. And I think it's because of that. It's because I was raised not getting hugged so much, so it feels weird when I hug someone, right? And it's something that I need to get over because I never want to be like that to my children. If I ever have children, I want them to know that like it's okay to hug, it's okay to love, it's okay to show affection to your child without it being like, oh, I'm just like a friend. You can disrespect me because I hug you, right? Yeah. And I think that's where my mom saw it of, where like if you show too much affection or whatever the case may be, like they might have thought, oh, I now I'm not going to respect you because I can only see you as a friend or whatever the case may be. I don't know, man. I don't know why
you are the way you are.
Yeah. I don't know why they raised me the way they raised me. I'm just explaining what it is.
Probably was the best circumstance.
Yeah. Because I had to learn the hard way, man. Being in a relationship, like I think my very first like serious relationship, having to learn to like communicate how I felt was really hard because I didn't know how to do that. Because no one ever sat down to ask me how I felt. And I never had to like communicate that to somebody.
You always just held it in?
Yeah, because that's how it was, like, right? It's to never, at least in like the Dominican culture, it was like, oh, men don't cry, men aren't supposed to show feelings, shit like that. So I never did, and it's hard for someone like me who is very emotional, someone who's always been like hard on sleeve and like wanting to show my emotion but never being able to, or like.
Do you think other people made it feel that way, that you weren't able to, or you think you yourself were just saying, I am very emotional, but you know what, I'm not gonna show, I can't show people?
Both, I think.
So you've had instances where the other person was like, stop, like,
or
like kind of like hindering your emotional vulnerability?
Yes, for sure. I think, but that's more often now. I don't think my family's like that anymore. I think if I ever show any emotion to my mom, she's always receptive. But as a kid, I didn't know how to because I was never taught to. But now as an adult, I know how to, right? But there are times where people are just like, they don't care.
Yeah.
And then it like blocks you off to being like, dude, why even open myself up?
Yeah, it hurts when
even like not even get the reaction or the response
that you're looking
for. So if you're like, yo, this shit is really bothering me, blah blah blah, and they're like, cool, bro, like stop crying about it, and it's like, oh, cool, now I know. Like I'm gonna just not talk about my feelings. And it's happened, I think, a few times with like past relationships that I've been in, and I'm not gonna sit here and play a saint that I'm like perfect and I never have problems, right? I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety at the age of 16. So there are times where these things get very overwhelming. So then I get very overwhelmed and my emotions are like at 100. And so that's a lot for any human to like endure, right? But also I never felt like I've ever been supported enough in that situation where like when it gets really bad. Because usually I'm very calm. Right, I know how to deal with all of my stuff by myself, but when it gets to the point where I can't control it or I can't deal with it on my own, there are times where it flows out, and I seek for help against or around people who are like very close to me, and it's never been receptive, so I don't even do it anymore. So like in relationships where I've been in like for like years with people, like 2-3 years with people, and then like I get into like a funk or like something like that. So usually whenever the anniversary of one of my very close friends and family members passed away, I get into like a really bad funk in that month. And so I like seek to be like, hey, if there's, you can speak to me, if I can spend time with you and things like that. And I've been in relationships where it's just like, yo, shut up, like you're using this depression thing as a crutch or this or that. Yeah, and it's like, oh, okay. I just won't speak about myself whenever like I'm having problems. And that's why I think I try my best and pride myself on being there for anyone who needs it if I'm in their life. Because I know what it's like to need somebody or want somebody to be there for you and not having that in return. So whenever the case may be, when anybody who is my friend or someone very close to me or my family, I try to put myself in that situation where it's like, I understand how hard it is to be dealing with everything that you're dealing with alone. Know and understand that you have someone here to lighten that burden, whether that be to help you in any way, to just hear your story out in any way, like things like that. Because truly, when you're going through something, so even if it seems trivial to you as a person, if that person is going through it, it feels like the weight of the world is on them. And just to like hold their hand and be like, yo, I'm here with you, let's like lift this weight together, could help somebody in so many ways that you wouldn't understand unless you were in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's cool to kind of hear that. Yeah. Based on, because you would think people listen to how you grew up or how anybody else who would share their childhood story grow up and think, how are you like this aware and this like understanding of people's situations or people like how they react to like maybe emotional consideration, affection, things like that. Like it would easily be understandable if you were just closed off to the whole world and didn't care about the world, like, or anybody else. Yeah, for that matter.
That's the easy choice, right? If I could just be an asshole and not care about anybody else but myself, just because I've gotten that treatment myself. Yeah. But I think that's the cycle that I want to break, right? I don't want to be that for anybody. Yeah. Especially like going back to the children thing. Like if I have children, it is genetically exposed to what I have. Yeah. Depression and anxiety runs in my family. It's genetic. It's a chemical imbalance in my brain. And if that, God forbid, goes to my children, right, I have to be able to take point, to show them and help them deal with it, because I had to at one age. You know what I'm saying? And most of the times those people going through it want someone to relate to, want someone that understands where they're coming from, when even everyone experiences depression differently. Everyone experiences anxiety differently. But from outside looking in, people just really want to have someone who like gets them. You know what I'm saying? And so I would like, if my family understood what the fuck I was going through when I was going through it, it would have been a huge help, right? But having to figure that stuff out on your own is really hard.
So the thing I want to kind of shift to right now is, how would you go about parenting your child? What is something that you want to make sure you do differently than your mother?
Show compassion, show empathy, show understanding is something that I want to be. I want to be able to understand my children instead of like just being like
just a caretaker.
Not a caretaker, but like I'm the boss, that type of parent. Like, you need to listen to me just because I am the boss. I want to be able to sit down and speak to my children, let them know that I understand where they're coming from in every situation that they're coming from, and then they understand me, where I'm coming from as a parent, but also as a person. Because I think there's not enough empathy in this world with just human beings in general. I think we're so focused on ourselves that we never stop to think about our neighbors. You know what I'm saying? To be like, oh, I know I'm going through some crazy like shit right now, but this other person could be going through like something too. Like
everybody's
that's what
going
I'm
through
saying.
something.
We never know. So I want to be able to like,
whether it be good or bad.
I want to be able to like instill that into my children to like just have empathy for other people and like be able to speak to me with whatever problems I have, even if I don't deem it as like the best like situation. Like if they're like, oh, I'm pregnant or whatever the case may be, I want them to be able to be comfortable enough to speak to me about it instead of having to go to like another outlet, whether that be drugs, alcohol, whatever the case may be, right? I want to be able to sit down and then be like, yo, dad, like I'm going through some crazy shit. I'm going through my very first heartbreak, things like that, like that I never had the experience of having support of, right? Because anytime I was going through some shit, people would just be like, like, you'll get over it.
Yeah,
it takes time.
Happens.
Yeah. And I feel like
it takes time. That sounds kind of toxic. It takes time.
I mean, you'll hear that everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, is it?
It does take time.
Toxic, but is it also true?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't think it's toxic, because it is true. Anything you're going through will eventually be. You will go through it, and eventually it won't matter to you as time progresses. Mm-hmm. But in the moment, hearing it takes time doesn't help because you aren't in the future.
Yeah.
So I think there's a better response to it at the time, being like, yeah, I know what you're going through. Like, I'm here for you. Like, if you want to go out, you want to do this, you want to do that, or you want to just be alone, you let me know, but just know that I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Know that if you want to speak about everything that went wrong in your relationship, you want to talk shit about your ex, you want to just
to your child, you're having that conversation.
Yeah, like if you just want to vent it out, I'm here.
Yeah.
Right? Because like first heartbreaks suck dick, bro. Like as a kid, you don't understand how much that hurts because you don't know what the fuck you're going through at the time. You're just like, I feel something so strongly, and now like I lost that, and now that this hurt is so goddamn strong now, and like not knowing how to like go through that as a kid because it's like your very first time going through it is hard. Yeah. And I think you get better as time goes on. I don't like the more relationships you've been in and the more heartbreak you've been in, you're like, I now know how to deal with this heartbreak. I now know how to deal with these emotions. And every time it's gonna hurt. Yeah. I'm never gonna sit here and tell you like, oh, heartbreak don't hurt eventually. Like, no, it's always gonna hurt. But you learn to deal and cope with it a lot differently.
Yeah.
And I feel like starting like someone young, like with realistic views of being like, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna suck. It's gonna do all this stuff that you feel right now. Of course it hurts. Of course it sucks. Just know I'm here for you, and we will get through this together. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that they're more than just what that situation was to them. Because like most of the times when people are in a relationship, they see themselves as that and never as an individual because they've been in a relationship for so long, and like they forget that they are also an individual. So when they lose that partnership, they feel like they lost themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've heard heartbreak compared to scraping your knee. The first time you scrape your knee is as a child, and it hurts because it's a new phenomenon to you. Yeah. So the first time your heart gets broken, it hurts because it's a new feeling that you've never really felt before. Yeah. Even if you have, but not on the same level as a relationship, right? Yeah. Because there's different levels to these kind of emotions. Mm-hmm. And the more you scrape your knee, I don't want to say the more desensitized or the more you get used to it. Yeah, because it's a familiar.
It's always going to hurt, right?
Yeah, it always hurts.
But then you get used to being like, okay, now I know how to upkeep this scraped knee. If I put some antibiotics, I put a Band-Aid over it, it might heal faster, it might do this. Like, you learn how to deal with it.
Maybe I don't trip over dumb shit. Maybe I should be more wary of where I'm going as opposed to... Maybe I should
see the red fucking flag.
Yeah, exactly.
Very soon. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, so I think that's a great analogy, the scraping your knee.
Yeah, for compared. Sure. What about you, man? How was your childhood? How are you raised?
My childhood?
How would you raise your children?
How would I raise my children?
What would you do differently? That's my question to you.
Wow. Well, there's a lot of similarities, but a lot of variation. Mm-hmm. I would say growing up, there was a lot of teamwork, right? Mm-hmm. Even though my mom was a single parent, my dad left to the other side of the country. My uncles were still there, related to my dad. They live pretty close by. And so I do have memories growing up with my grandfather and those uncles here in New York. Well, in New York. But like here. And I think that helps when you have kind of like a support system in that way, as opposed to just your mom.
Yeah.
Because I feel there's a lot of moments in my life where it was annoying growing up, like just because I felt like my mom wasn't understanding of things.
Yeah.
But then when I got to, let's say, my grandfather or my uncles, it was like I could get away from that, like the annoyance, and maybe it kind of, that space kind of led to like settle those feelings, and it's like, okay, it wasn't really that big of a deal as how I was taking it. Like I'll kind of jump to those conclusions.
Yeah, for sure, because like that's what I was saying earlier, right? In the moment, it feels like the biggest deal in your world. Yeah. You're like, this is the craziest thing that's ever happened to me. This shit is
so far.
It's the most painful shit I've ever been through. And then like as time goes on, you realize, oh, it wasn't really that bad. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, maybe like now that I've been through it, I know that like I can go through it again, or I can deal with it now. Yeah.
And I think my mom let me grow up with just her letting me do things. Yeah. Like, not like go out until like 3 a.m. kind of things, but like she let me fuck shit up. She let me color on the walls, let me lock myself in a closet. Like, she let me do that, even though I did get like disciplined after like things, like mistakes that I made, or like bad decisions that I do. But she let me experience me making bad decisions. Yeah. And I think that kind of helped shape kind of how I like view the world now. It's like, let me think this through. Let me think about every possible outcome. Let me kind of like be more like maybe proactive instead of reactive. But she made me make a lot of mistakes. Like she let me ride my bike like super fucking fast down the hill, even though it could have resulted in me like seriously hurting myself. But luckily I didn't. But that fear of like going down a hill really fast really just like wakes you up. It's like, all right, I need to be more careful when I do this. Yeah. No matter what. Like, so she made me make a lot of decisions on my own without really kind of like holding my hand through things. Yeah. And she was there to kind of maybe she didn't be like give me like good like feedback, like, okay, that's why you're not supposed to do it. And it was more like, I fucking told you that was gonna happen. Like, kind of like, I think I would kind of do the same thing, but instead of being like, I told you so, I would be like, here's like, that's the reason why, like, you should need to be careful doing certain things like that. And so kind of like grateful for that, just being able to like fuck up and make countless mistakes as a child. It kind of helps me like as an adult be like, okay, remember that one time I didn't do this thing? Okay, let me take it back. Yeah, let me take a step back. Let me like evaluate, is it the right thing I need to do? So kind of like very appreciative of that, even though I did get to see her raise me as a single child, as a single mom. Yeah. And I was the only child for 8 years, so before your sister was born. Yeah, before my sister was born. So it was cool kind of seeing her do that. And just like I spoke about in one of our previous episodes, where like seeing that and thinking about it now, it's like, whoa. Yeah, for sure. Because like thinking back on it, right? Like you're saying, I like to put myself in my mother's shoes, right? Me sitting there be like, damn, raising 4 kids by myself, how hard would that be in today's world? Yeah. It'd kill me. Yeah. It seems like almost impossible to be able to do. Parents are just built different.
Yeah, it's insane to me. I'd be like, damn, like she really did that.
And you as a male, do you ever just like think about that and then just be like, you really let her raise 4 kids? Like, I really be like my dad? To your dad. Like, thinking about that now, you said that like raising 4 kids right now seems crazy to you, that you wouldn't be able to do it. But I think the same way, but I'd be thinking sometimes like, damn, you really just let that happen, dog?
Oh, for sure. I
like as a male, like that will kind of, if I would be in that situation, like I would be like, I wouldn't do that.
No, for sure. Even if let's say I got a girl pregnant, and me and her are not on, let's say, the best of terms or whatever, I'm still being in that child's life, 100%. Yeah. I'm still helping. I'm still providing. So yeah, I agree with you, and that there is a lot of resentment towards my father, where I was like, where were you for a lot of the shit that I had to go through, right? A lot of the times where my mother was like barely making ends meet, living in like her friend's like living room, raising 4 kids by herself, like trying her best. Yeah. And he was like living lavishly, and
because he's a single man, gets to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, exactly. Living lavishly, has a house, has his own. Because the thing with my father is he cheated on his wife with my mother and then got her pregnant. Over and over and over and over. Yeah. And then just threw our family out and kept living his life with his own family. Lavishly, with a big house and his own. Yeah. So, and like that is where like the resentment comes in, right? It's like you really decided
to bring... You really
did
that. You really
you really decided to bring life from an affair and then decided, whatever, I don't care.
Nah, I'd throw them away. I don't need those. I already have one.
Yeah, it's just, it's wild. And it's it's so bad to the point where me and my father have literally zero type of relationship, that he saw me at my job and didn't realize it was me till my cousin called him out. Mm-hmm. He was like, "Isn't that your dad over there?" Like Joang was like, "Isn't that your dad?" And then he heard that and then realized it was me and then came to say hello.
He said it dumb loud.
Yeah, Joang gave no fucks.
Is that your dad? That guy over there.
Yeah, Joang gave no fucks.
This man, I brings him to the customer service counter. This man right here, isn't this your dad? Like,
but yeah, it's insane to me. But it's like, it's whatever, bro. I pay no mind to it anymore because I don't care. Like, it bothered me so much as a kid, right? Like, I don't know if you felt the same way, but seeing like my friends have like fathers that cared about them and bought them stuff and brought them places and like did this with them or did that with them, it hurt so bad as a kid not being able to do that, right? Like, I was like, damn, like there's really people out here with dads.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was like a thing. Like, or to have like two parents that like actually cared about them. Yeah, like it blew my mind, because like the only thing my dad ever provided for me was like a line on a cell phone, but the moment I turned 18, he's like, "Oh, you're on your own." Damn. And since then I've been paying for my own shit.
Yeah.
And my mother's been supporting me since like I was born, and never once was she's like, "Oh, you're on your own."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
even though like she could.
Correct. She could.
She could, like, she's within reason, right? We're whole grown like adults, but like just a night and day difference.
There's a night. That's what I'm saying. There's a night and day difference where she would never.
Like, she would be justified to, right?
Correct,
she's like, I've been supporting you your whole life.
My whole life, yeah.
And then
go on your own.
And
right?
she's like never brought that up.
No, never. My mom has never been like, "Yo, find your own food. Go do this. Go do." If I was like, "Yo, Ma, I need $10," and she had $20, she'd give me her 10.
Yeah.
My mom has always been there for me, no matter the case.
Like, I made the conscious choice to not accept things from my mom. Like, I've done that, but I'm just like, it's just too much now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, even when I'm broke and I want to eat, I'm like, I'm not asking for her for money, because I know that like she'll give it to me even if she doesn't have.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just don't do it. But yeah, it's night and day, man. And that's the type of parenting that, like, I never want to be, and I pride myself that, like, thank you for teaching me how not to be a father.
I had that conversation with my dad actually, like last summer. Like, he was trying to explain to me why that he made the choices he made, and I was just like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care why you did it. I just know you did it, and I've already accepted that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never gonna call you dad.
Yeah, I'm
not gonna call you father. I see you as a regular man.
Exactly.
Like, if I see you as a man, I could just see you as a fucking piece of shit, or however, like, like maybe like, however as a child would react, right?
Yeah.
Like, feeling abandoned, feeling hurt, feeling like, like why did he leave? Like, that was one of the main concerns I had, was like reuniting or seeing him, and then seeing my brother. It's like, I didn't want a 12-year-old Fernando to pop out, as opposed to 23-year-old me, where it's like, no, I'm fine. I'm settled in. Like, I've come to an understanding with that. Yeah. Like, I've let those negative feelings go, and I was just more concerned. Was like, I don't want 12-year-old Fernando to pop up and be like, fuck you for having a dad, or like, fuck you for doing this. Like,
exactly.
Fuck you for leaving my mom.
Because at the end of the day, like you said in like a few episodes ago, like, it isn't the family's fault.
Mm-mm.
It was his decision to leave. It was his decision to have other children. It was his decision to not be there for you. So for you to take it out on, let's say, his new family, it's not productive.
It doesn't make any sense. They didn't owe me anything.
Exactly.
He didn't know.
He owed you.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's why I'm like, yo, I will never ever not be in my child's life if I ever have a child.
Yeah.
Because I know how crazy,
you've seen it firsthand.
Yeah. How crazy hard it is to live without a parent and not know why. Because my whole life I never understood why he left. I never understood why.
Did you feel a sense of blame, like that it was your fault?
No, I didn't. I never felt it was my fault, but I always felt that, like, I wasn't wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Which could be the case.
Yeah, I mean, he begs to differ, right? Because I've asked him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, that's not the case. But like,
then like, what is then?
They always give you bullshit answers.
Exactly.
That's the thing. It's like, I can't believe someone's bullshit anymore when your actions spoke louder than whatever the hell you have to say to me. Right? No matter what.
You need to own up.
Yeah, whatever you want to say to me now, or like, how you want. Basically, like, if he tried to get into my life now, I'm just like, I'm not with it, bro.
Mm.
Like, you had years to step up and be like, oh, I want to have this person in my life. I want to have a good relationship with my children. Never did.
Like at any point, it would have been cool. It's not now though. I'm a full blown adult now.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really need this relationship in my life.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe like, where were you when I needed to learn how to drive? Where were you when I needed to change my oil? Where were you like
teach me how to shave? Exactly. Where were you to like play catch with me? Where were you when I needed?
When I got my first fight, and I got punched in the fucking face. Where were you
when I needed a man figure to help me with situations that I was dealing with as a man? Yeah. You weren't there. I had to learn on my own. So now you can't step into my life as a man when I don't see you as one. And it's that type of thing where I'm like, oh, like as morbid as it may sound, like if my father passed tomorrow, it wouldn't bother me. Like I have no feelings towards him. To me, that man is a stranger. Mm-hmm. It's just like if another stranger passed away that I'd never heard of or never knew about, it wouldn't hurt me. You know what I'm saying?
Would you feel bad if you heard a stranger died? Like, is there any kind of like, oh man, that sucks, or like, I'm sorry?
Yeah. There's always that.
So,
oh yeah,
that. Do you have that with your dad if he would have died, or is it just like
no?
Oh, so
none.
That's different than a stranger.
No, but what I'm saying is like, you know, like when someone you know or care about passes, and then like it hurts, like it physically like it brings out.
Yeah, but you're so like you're saying you're so desensitized to him dying, it wouldn't even affect you.
Yeah, it wouldn't. No.
Even if a stranger right now would die and someone told you about it,
no, yeah, because
that would affect you on some way.
Yes,
right?
correct.
Like you would feel like not, I don't want to say sad over it, but you would feel for the people impacted by that loss, right?
Because there's days where I see like people getting shot or like things by cops that like didn't need
to happen. That way.
And I feel terrible about it, and I feel like damn, that sucks. Someone lost their life, or people's family that I don't even know, but they're my friends. So I feel bad for them, and I feel it feels like never with my dad. I'd never feel anything if he passed. It would just be like, oh, because that man could be on his deathbed and be like, yo, I really want to see my son. I'm like, sucks, dog.
Sucks, dog. Yeah. How old are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had that amount of time in your life. You had you had 23 years of my life to go into.
It's like that scares me as a father, because I never want my children to feel that resentment that I feel towards my father to ever feel towards me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Because you think about it, the person, if you have a child, that person is part of you forever, whether you want it or not. That is half of you and half of the other person. Exactly. That is 50% your blood, and like losing that connection to someone because of your dumbass choices is scary. And so, yeah, I'd never want to be that type of like parent. Even if like the little things, man, things, just
like I remember
being
thinking
there for them.
I remember thinking like, if my child to come home and be like, hey, I need $10 for a pizza party. Yeah. I think I would go out and pay for the entire pizza party. You know why? Because I know there's people out there who may not have those $10 to give their child. So I think I would go to school the next day, be like, how much is the entire pizza party? And just pay for that shit.
Because you ever been in a situation where like your school was going on like a school trip?
Yeah,
you couldn't afford it?
Yeah, she was probably, bro. She was like $200.
Like shit. But did you, as a kid, didn't it hurt to see all
Hell yeah, everybody go on the bus. Yeah. And then you're just sitting in the classroom.
All your friends dip on you and you're just at school like
cool. The sub is there, like, I don't know what to do. I was like, bro, I should be at like the aquarium right now.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And it always hurt growing up because I knew we didn't have much. Yeah. So asking for like $200 for a trip that I knew would take food off of like my other siblings' like plates and like my mom's rent and things like that, it wasn't viable to me.
Did you feel like asking for it was a heavy decision?
Like, oh, for sure. But I would, because I was a kid, man. I'd be like, oh, please, I want to go to this trip. I'd want to. My mom would be like, I can't.
Did you feel guilty by asking in the first place?
As a kid, no. I feel guilty now. Mm-hmm. As a kid, I didn't. Again, like I didn't understand the concept of money. I didn't know 300 was so much. I didn't know that like. I didn't understand that we couldn't afford it as a family because everyone around me could. Mm-hmm. Right. So I'd ask, and she'd be like, yeah, we just can't. And I'd be like, oh, okay. Like I wasn't angry at her about it, but I was sad that I couldn't go for a lot of those things. Cause like, and then again, she'd be like, yo, ask your dad. Maybe your dad could give it to you. Yeah. Never once gave me anything. This man, I remember on prom, I was trying to buy a tux for like my prom night.
Yeah. Like flat out just to own it forever. Or you wanted to rent a tux?
No, yeah, to own it. Because I was like, I own 0 suits. I buy a suit.
Yeah.
This suit will be my suit for as long as I can possibly use it.
Until I outgrow it.
Yeah. So it was like, I think at the time, like a $300-something suit.
That's not even that much.
Yeah, that's like tailor made to me.
Yeah.
That wasn't even that much. And I was like, can you help me pay for it? He's like, I'll give you like $100.
It's right? 1/3 of the suit.
And then my mom had to pay the rest, knowing that she was the one that was struggling way more than he ever was, and he couldn't put up the money for it. And same with every time I bought a phone or got a new phone, my mother had to pay for it. All he ever did was pay for the line. Whether that'd be like $10 a month, more than whatever the fuck he was paying. And then the moment I was old enough to make my own line, he's like, I get off my line. And it's things like that I'm like, damn, bro, like you were really that grimy to not help any one of us growing up, like whether that be me or my 2 siblings who are also his children.
That's crazy.
But then he supported every one of his children, and then
they're his.
Yeah, and then he had a mistress. Now he has another mistress. Or and he like paid for her car and her college and shit like that. And not once, and not once gave any of me or my siblings any money for anything. And it's like shit that I'm like, yo, you're scum, dog, straight up. To give someone who's like half my age, she was like 19 when he met her. That's like her mistress. So someone who could be his child, giving her money for sexual things or whatever the fuck they were doing, I don't know, but not his own children is insane to me.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's just nuts to me that, like, I don't know.
So, do you wanna have your own children, right?
For sure.
How many do you think? Right now, what would be a good number?
Right now, 0. I don't.
No. But like right now, thinking ahead.
Like in the future, I think
because always in the moment it could be different. You could be like, I only want one, and then you're like, fuck, I want another one. Like
I want 2. That's my goal.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the most manageable for me. But who knows? I think for me it'll be 2.
I think 2 is a good number.
Hopefully different sex, so I can raise a daughter and a son. World doesn't work like that. I might get 2 same sex.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, but yeah, I don't. That's my goal, is raise 2 children who I am like
have a deep connection with.
Yeah, have a connection with, so that way when they have children, I can be a great grandfather to them. Because like my dad would never be a grandfather to any of my children.
My mom would make a great grandma.
Yeah,
she blames. She's like, wait till you have kids. I'm gonna fucking spoil the fuck out of them. And I was like,
yeah,
because you got it now. Like
pretty much, yeah. Like I don't know, man. Seeing people grow up is wild. Time really just goes and goes and goes, and you don't.
That shit never stops.
You don't get it. Like
we're aging right now.
Yeah,
you think about it in a deep sense. We're aging right now,
and you don't understand it till like way later, bro. I'm like, oh, like I'm old as shit, dude. Like I'm really like getting up there, and I don't realize it. Like time is just going, and I don't get it.
It never stops.
Yeah,
it never goes backwards.
It would never stop for you, no matter how much you want to just be like, I'm gonna just like chill to like
just chill. Be in the moment real quick.
Yeah,
but the moment's constantly moving.
The time don't give a fuck. He's like, I'm going, dog. You can stay back here wherever the hell you want to be.
You can pause real quick, but I'm gonna keep moving forward.
Yeah, it's like, and like seeing people like I was saying earlier, like seeing like younger siblings grow old and things like that. You're like, oh, time is moving, bro.
Yeah, it's not.
It's insane. Like that's. It's emotional to see like I'll never understand until I actually have a child, but to see someone who like you saw like that came from you, like just like grow up into their own person is so goddamn like beautiful to me. Like seeing someone who like could barely talk eventually be able to have his own opinions, his or her own opinions, like
have a podcast.
Yeah, things like that is just insane to me. I'll be like, damn, bro, like I'm really proud that you're
a fucking
to be your own person. Yeah, like it's wild to me, because at first they're just emulating you. They're just sponges. They're just like, oh, I'm gonna be whatever this person is, but eventually they're gonna grow up and be their own person, and that's beautiful.
And then they'll have children that'll try to emulate them.
Exactly. It's nuts. It's kind of weird, because like thinking about your future while sitting here in the present is weird as shit. Because like this podcast will forever be like recorded, and like let's say 10-20 years from now I go back and I listen to this now and I have children, it's gonna be so weird to like see the difference of like my opinions now, my opinions later, and like how much shit has changed, how much I've grown as a person, or how I'm raising my children now compared to what I was saying I was gonna raise my, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's weird to think about. because
you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, shit just happens, bro.
Like you can't tell what the future's gonna be. You can only look back on the past.
Yeah. If you could change anything about your childhood, what would it be? If your current Fernando can go back in time, let's say, this scenario I'm gonna say, let's say you have a time travel button or a time travel remote. Like, you ever seen that movie Click?
Yep.
You have one of those, right?
Give me the remote so I can stimulate it. I have a time travel remote.
Okay. So you have a remote.
Okay, have a remote.
And you have an unlimited, not unlimited.
Oh wait, this is like.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you have I'll give you $100,000. Okay. And you can go back to your childhood to either like give the money to your family, help them out, what would you change to help your childhood, help you as a child grow up without so many like barriers or things like that where you think could have helped you today?
I think I'm buying my childhood home. Because we rented the second floor of it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say childhood home, but a majority of my like middle school through high school years I lived there. And so I think I would buy that house.
For your child.
Yeah.
For like, you as a child.
For me as a child. Yeah. Like I would give it to
your mom, I guess.
No, I would give it to a lawyer to buy on her behalf. Because I don't know what she would do with $100,000, you know?
Yeah.
Because it goes on sale, and then we got a certain amount of time to move, and I feel like maybe it would have been good with that, enough for a down payment at least,
for
right?
sure, yeah,
and like more than enough for a down payment, but like maybe that house is worth $300,000, put $100,000 down, and then have her figure out.
But how? Now,
because I feel like
how would what I'm trying to say is like
how would it better me?
Yeah, how would that change your childhood?
I think it would just be more consistent, consistent for my life. Just be there, have an environment, because I still don't have a consistent place to be. Like you're still renting, like we are. We rent, yeah. Like, but I'm saying me personally, like I remember, like going to college, having my dorm room for a certain amount of time, then going back home, crashing on the couch for a certain amount of time. Yeah. And then going back to school. So you think crashing for a certain amount of time.
If you had a house, you'd be more stable. You'd be like, oh, this is my house.
Not even stable, but like I would always have somewhere to go. Yeah. No matter if I didn't maybe stay there long, but like right now it's like I'm always planning where to be next, right? Because I don't know how long I can be certain places, or in my house, how long can I tolerate living on the couch again? Like I always want to be somewhere. So that's why when I went to Mexico, I had a place to be because I have my own place. Like I always have somewhere to stay there, but I feel like that would be cool if I had my own space like that here. Yeah, and I feel like it would have made growing up easier. Like I would be able to go to school, go to home real fast. Like it would have made,
and I'd have to worry about like that.
Like we would literally have everything I needed at that house. Like a parking spot. Like I don't have to fucking think, okay, I have to be home before fucking 8 because after that it's clipped. The parking. I'll never have parking. I'll have to park like 5 blocks from there. Like even though that's not necessarily like a big deal. Yeah. But it is sometimes. Like sometimes like I'll sleep in the car so I don't get a ticket. Like, and I've had moments like that. Just like, okay, I don't want to fucking drive.
Well, when you say it's not a big deal, it really is though.
It really is though. But it's like it's not like a big deal. Like people they don't have places to stay, right?
That's
like,
what I'm saying. But
comparative to what people would consider a big deal. But
what I'm trying to say is that like I'm not comparing your life to people who are less fortunate. Yeah. That's not what I'm trying. What I'm trying to say is how could you have made your childhood more comfortable to you?
That's what it would. That would have made my childhood comfortable,
right? Because there's a lot of people who grow up in like rich households who have garages and shit, like 6 cars, and they never had to worry about finding parking, right? Because they're living comfortably. That's the scenario I'm trying to put you. I think
that would have made me have access to a car quicker. Yeah, because that means my stepdad could have gotten a car. Yeah, right. Before he was just content with taking the bus. And then because we didn't have the space for a car, if that makes sense, right? And so I feel like maybe that would have got me driving earlier than I did. I started driving. I got my license at 20. I got my permit at 18. I learned those things late, and I feel like that would have helped me out when I was younger, being able to kind of just go out somewhere and drive somewhere. Like,
yeah,
it's important. I feel I'm teaching my sister how to drive now. Like, me and her dad are like teaching her like every other like weekend.
Yeah,
and it's like get comfortable with a car because it's something you need. Like, even though
For
most
sure.
people don't have that, like a car or ability to have a car, but like now it's like, okay, we both have cars, and it's like it's something you need to learn. Because like, what if you need to take our mom somewhere? What if you need to go somewhere like urgent? Like, that freedom should not be like a luxury, but it is.
Yeah,
access to consistent transportation.
for sure. Yeah,
Like,
there are so many people who still use public because they can't get anything else.
Exactly. And then I think that makes being able to go places too. Like, that's why I wasn't scared to leave for college. Like, I went 6 hours away, and that's because I finally had I took the bus there for the first year, and then my mom was like, we need to get you a car because like it'll be easier for you to do that. And having the car made me be able to go places that I normally wouldn't have gone, like South Carolina, like all these other states that I got to visit to. Like, it was simply because I had a car.
Yeah,
Simply, like, no ifs, ands, buts about it. It's just because I had the car and I was able to take myself those places. Like, I wasn't dependent on like things like bus schedules or like airplanes or things like that. It made me more able to be free in that way. And I think it all trickles down to just the consistency. Like, if you had a house, you didn't have to worry about parking. Yeah, it makes it easier to do things. You don't have to.
No, yeah, I agree. Because if I do the same thing, if I could go back, I'd give my mother a home where like she didn't have to worry about constantly having to feed her children, but also have a place of like having to like just
and also buying that childhood home. It creates income. Yeah, because we rented the second floor and we were good with the second floor. And then that leaves the first floor and the third floor in the basement. That leaves 3 options to kind of opportunity. Yeah. And I think having a constant home takes a lot of stress away from your mom, let alone you. Yeah, because it will help you as a child in the long run, but it helps your mom back then. It helps them more than you could.
All she has to pay is mortgage, and if you pay that all off, that house is hers.
Exactly.
No money needed. All the money she makes now is just for her and her children.
Yeah, and all the money that she can make for like renting out the other places, you can rent them out at a reasonable cost, and you don't have to necessarily like vulture off the other people's basically will to survive. Yeah, and I think that's like very.
What do you think about landlords like that?
I think,
because I remember like during COVID, some landlords were like brutal.
Yeah, they're like, "Yo, I can't afford my mortgage." I'm like, "Were you relying to pay your mortgage on simply my rent?" Yeah. Like, that's scummy.
It's just wild that like there was really some landlords that are like, oh, you're gonna still have to pay me. Yeah. And things like that. I'm like, Jesus. I don't know, man. There's just landlords.
I think it's easy to get into the real estate business, like buying a house and renting it out and doing whatever. Yeah. But I feel like it's also easy to feel pressure in that industry. Like, oh shit, I don't make enough money to own this house entirely, to manage it, to pay for his expenses. I only made enough to get the down payment and qualify for the loan. Yeah. And a lot of people aren't able to. Let's say nobody rents your house for a year. How are you going to pay?
Yeah, to pay off the house.
How are you going to pay the house, right? If your sole income to pay the house is rent, then you're honestly making a mistake. But like, just like COVID happened, if you're evicting your people, like, who's gonna replace them if
no one has money?
If everybody's in the same position,
that's what I'm saying.
So that's kind of fucked up. I think I want to be stupid rich.
I remember this in our test episode a long time ago.
But like
an angel, what was it? Like an angel?
Yeah. But that like, I want to be like stupid rich and then buy like maybe like a 20 house home. Yeah. And be a foster parent.
To like 20 children?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And because you get paid per child, but that's not what I'm doing. Like, I want to have my my own children, right? Yeah. Like maybe like 1 or 2, but then I want there's so many foster homes that you look at, whether it be facilities or people's own homes, and the house is shit. The building is shit. So I want to be able to change like 18 kids' lives and just like, here's a fucking mansion. Yeah. Like,
for sure.
Imagine being a foster kid in a mansion. You would never want to leave.
Yeah, word.
You would never want to leave, but like,
I think it would make the trauma of like being an orphan a lot easier to manage if you had like a loving foster parent and loving.
Because a lot of people do it for
siblings.
the money.
Yeah,
like
a lot of the time,
pay me
like
for the kid. Like give me money each time.
I think a lot of people just are like, give me as many kids as you want because I just want money, but not actually care for the children that they're getting.
Yeah, like if I already had money, then the money wouldn't mean shit to me.
Exactly.
The money could be an allowance for the kid. Let's just be like, here's the $2,000 they're paying me each month for you, but here you have it. Like that's all the money I'm giving you because I'm not legally required to give you any more unless I want to. But I would want to. But like, just imagine like having a mansion and then having it as a foster home. And I think I wanted to get even more rich beyond that and just move out and have my own separate small little house on the same plot of land. And just like the mansion is strictly for foster use. Like have your caretakers come move in, and then that is a place for foster children. And I think I want to like maybe if I get.
And would you still be supporting them after they turn like to an adult?
I think if I'm that fucking rich, if I was like Jeff Bezos,
or Bill Gates,
I would be doing that shit right now.
Yeah,
are you kidding me? I would buy the plot of. I would buy like how the Epic Games CEO buys forest things. I would buy that shit, and then leave it to them. Like this is your part of the world. Yeah, this is your part of the world. Like here's that. Like I would have that big ass mansion and just have kids living in it with the proper like supervision. Obviously, like it's going to be like. It's a government like program. Yeah. Like being a foster parent, but I'll just be like, yeah, here's a place. Yeah. Because a lot of people maybe can't raise children, but they have an extra place for kids to stay and like, oh, here, actually I could give you my place instead. Yeah. Here's my place, like have them like there. And I think I would do that, whether it be through a government program or whether, because I know some like religious churches or whatever people do that too, like mostly nuns do that. They take care of like fostered kids and they get help through the connections of the people who go through the churches or whatever. Yeah, so I would do that. I'm like, here's a fucking 20-room mansion, get as many kids as you can, as because like they don't necessarily have to have their own room. Yeah, you could, you know what I'm saying, you could fit like 2-3 kids in a mansion. Exactly. Like, and that's like too much already, right? There's some places that have 6 or 7 kids per room, and in bunk small beds or like and then like, so what if I had a decent sized room and only put 3 to 4 kids in it?
That's what I'm saying.
And like that shit already is gonna be like better for them in the long run.
Of course, yeah. So
that's one of my, like, thinking about it now, that's one of my main goals is like I want to be Jeff Bezos rich, but like be poor at the same time. Yeah. Like not I don't really need like that much money.
Like I would be Jeff Bezos rich, but not for yourself. Yeah. For other people.
Just to fucking have a 20 room mansion, 3 to 4 kids a room. Just like any money you're giving me to put it, I'm gonna put it to use for these kids, like it should be, right? They're paying you that money so you can benefit that child. Yeah. Each and every month. Yeah. It's not for you. Like, oh, this is an extra $2,000 for me. Easy pocket. Let me go buy something. Yeah. As like child support, as anything like that, it has to go towards the child.
Yeah, it is kind of scummy, like seeing women of like famous people get all this money and then use it for themselves instead of the child. Yeah, I get that. It is kind of scummy to see them like, oh, I got a Chanel purse or whatever the fuck, Birkin bag, and it's like, did you
use your child's money for that?
Yeah, like did you really just buy that instead of like?
Or you know what I would think I'd do?
For your child or some shit.
You mentioned a good question, like would I support them after they're adults? I think if I don't give them the money as an allowance, I'll put it all in a bank account. I'll put it in a bank account and like here's 18 years of foster care money that I was supposed to
use for you, but
but here's for your adult life. Yeah. If you fuck that up, that's on you. But here's X amount of money.
Yeah, I think
don't be scared to.
I've had a very similar dream like most of my life, like. But not about like fostered people, but about my family. Mm-hmm. Like that whole like big ass mansion, just move all my family in it, and just take care of everyone. If I was really like Jeff Bezos rich, it's like similar, right? Like just being able to like just let everyone just like live their life without burdens is such like.
The reason why I went the foster care route because I don't think my family would appreciate it.
Really?
Yeah, I'd rather have 20 to 40.
Kids that would appreciate
it, and not necessarily thank me for it, but like I know it would be a great benefit for them, for sure.
No, yeah, I get that.
Because as an adult, you worry about those things. where am I gonna sleep? Sure. Where am I gonna eat? What am I gonna feed my child? What am I gonna do to get 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah.
And as a child in that system, you have to worry about that too. Like, where am I gonna sleep? What am I gonna eat? What am I gonna do? Like, even if you do have those places, but it feels like you don't have it.
As you get older, it gets really scary. Exactly. Once you're 18, you're out of the system.
Exactly.
And it's like now you're on your own.
Once you're older, you're not as adoptable.
Yeah.
Right? You're not a cute kid that a couple who is infertile can just adopt and kind of like raise them in their way how they want to. Once you're like 16, 17, you already grew up. You already have these values instilled in you. And it's hard to mold you how these adoptive parents would want you to be. And so I think getting rid of that stressor for a group of kids, no matter how long I have them, it's important. It's important to me.
For sure, yeah. Damn. That's very insightful, man. It's good to hear, though, like having someone in your close circle that really cares about people around them. You know what I'm saying? Because
they're not even people around me. They would be completely new, different people.
But like you have that mentality of like.
I'm saying it now, so it happens. Like I'm speaking it, so it's gonna happen.
Forget it. I mean,
like it's gonna happen. Sure. Like I'm gonna be like the next Jeff Bezos, and I'm gonna be balling with all these.
But that's what I'm saying. Because a lot of people, what I'm trying to say is like it's very refreshing to hear that's your take. Because most people would be like, "Oh, I want to be Jeff Bezos rich because I want to do things for myself."
Yeah.
Like I want all these luxury cars. I want to go on vacation. I want this like me type of mentality. But it's really refreshing to see someone in my circle who's like, "Nah, I want that money to help other people. Like forget stuff about me. Yeah. Like I want it. I want the financial freedom to help other people so that they feel financially freedom to pursue whatever they want to do without all the burdens of life. Actually, it's a really dope take. Is what I'm saying. You know.
I also have the most pimped out school bus you've ever seen. like a limo driver, but like with a school bus, and I'd just be chilling and like, yo, let's go somewhere. Where do you want to go? Like hop in the school bus.
Like,
we go
like a tour bus around the world. Yeah.
And it's like, yo, let's go somewhere. Like fucking who's in the mood for In-N-Out? But we live in New York. Fuck it, we're going anyway. I think that would be cool.
Yeah. What do you think these rich people are doing with their money, bro?
I have no idea. I think they might be doing some illegal shit. Cause that's all I know. Like, how you not doing that? You know, how you not how you not buying a house and donating it to foster care?
Not everyone is selfless like you, man.
I know, but like, come on.
That's what I'm saying.
It would be easy as fuck.
I agree, but not that's where like the disconnect is, right? Like, me and you have the same.
I think the people that have money most of the time never not had it. They never experienced not having it. I feel like some of the people who do give back usually are because they grew up that same way.
Poor, or because they want a tax cut.
Or they grew up poor, or they grew up like lacking these basic things, and that's why they want to maybe better most people's circumstances. But usually most people are really born rich. And they inherit.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that's where
problem.
the lack.
That's where the lack of empathy comes from, because you've never experienced anything other than what you lived.
Yeah.
So why? It's like alien to you to think that there's people out there that aren't living like you're living. Yeah. So it doesn't even cross your mind to help other people. Yeah.
And I had a thought recently. I was like, yo, there's some dogs that live better than me.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. There's pets out there that live way better than me.
You know that makeup artist, Jeffree Star?
Yeah.
Homie has like 6 Pomeranians, and they live better than I would ever live in my entire life because of how rich he is. And I'm just like, damn, bro, I want to be a dog like that, bro. That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just.
Like, you really think about it, how sad is that, though? That there are dogs or pets living better than I am right now. Not to downplay how I'm living, but just like the fact that.
Well, because me and you are middle class, right?
There are so ridiculously rich people out there that their dogs are living like high class lives. Like it's
insane that a pet can be having a better quality of life than you are.
And just imagine,
only because they were adopted by someone who was insanely rich.
Yeah. Imagine that. Like, imagine having that thought as a child.
Yeah. Like,
maybe you're like 12 years old. You're like, damn, that dog lives better than me.
Yeah,
what the
dude.
Fuck? Like,
and we only have it so good. Imagine the people below us, because we're middle class. Imagine low class or poverty. We're like, I think there is enough fortune to go around the world and help like everyone just live comfortably. But people are just so greedy and just want to hold on to
money is fake.
Whatever wealth they have.
We give value to money.
Yeah.
I could be like, this is worth $1 million.
Yeah.
And just it could be if we just accepted the fact that was worth $1 million.
I mean, that's any market.
Yeah.
Right. Because every shoe is made, like every sneaker, like you're saying, right, is made for like at most 1050. They sell it for 200.
So we accept that. We
just accept it, yeah. And then even after the retail market, it shoots up even more. And now that shoe is now worth like $800 to $900, just because we allow it to be. No one declared that shoe to be worth more than it already is.
That's ridiculous.
It's just people who are like, I have this many of this shoe that was only made
X amount of times.
Yeah. So now if you want this pair, you have to pay me the premium price. And if everyone's like, no, he can't sell that. So then he would have to sell
at the retail price.
At the retail
price.
Or
as close as he could possibly get to it.
Or else he's just holding on to something that has zero value.
Exactly.
But because we give value to things like you were saying that in honesty don't have actually any value.
Yeah.
It's on us, man. It is on us.
Imagine me with a school bus.
Pimped out school bus. It would be like Nando and the Magic School Bus.
Yeah, exactly. I'm out here doing cool shit. But then that kind of like leads me to like the kids never wanting to leave. That's my worry. Yeah. Like, what if a loving home finds them? They're like, nah, I want to stay here. What the fuck? And it's like, nah, bro, go.
I don't know, man. Because as a kid, if I like anytime I had like a rich friend, it was so exciting to go to like their house and like play with their things that I didn't have. So like I feel like if you were providing that for so many kids, your house would be like the fun place to go to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, yo, let's go over this guy's house. You know, he has like a mansion and he lives with like 16 siblings.
Yeah,
and they all have mad fun over there.
Yeah,
I feel like that's like the like environment that you
best case scenario.
Yeah, that's mad cool.
I think I would keep in contact with any kids that get adopted.
Like your kids, like your foster kids.
Yeah.
You let them get adopted?
Yeah.
I thought you would be the adopted father.
No, I'm just fostering them. Oh. Like I want them to have their own family, but like to get that experience like one-on-one.
Bro, they're not gonna want to leave your house.
They're not gonna want to leave, but I would keep in contact with them. I'd be like,
they'd be like, why would I want to get adopted when I literally have?
But yeah, as the system says, at 18 you're out of there. You gotta figure it out your own.
Yeah.
So I would do that, but I would give them like, here's the money they were paying me to keep you alive, but I would use my own money for that, and now you get to start your life with
whatever you
$200,000. Yeah. Like there you go. Like if you fuck that up, that's on you. But this is a big advantage.
Yeah.
And especially coming from a place where these kids wouldn't have that advantage anyway.
For sure, yeah.
And then giving them 18, the advantage, the kids that are just born rich already, giving them that same level playing field, that's a game changer.
That's how we
balanced the scale.
I wish people did that. I wish there was a balance when it came to that type of stuff. Because I don't think people who are born into like wealth understand the clear advantage that they have over everybody else, no matter how hard the people below them work.
Yeah.
Like, you can work our whole lives to get to the point where that wealthy child is, but he already started there, so he can just move up from there.
Exactly.
And it's like, I don't think people born into that understand that their lives are so catered to be like,
you gotta run a head start.
Yeah, you will never have to experience the trials and tribulations of someone who was not born into that.
Or at least you have a less likely chance to experience it. And so I think, like...
Because you heard about, like, those rich people that were just paying people to get into school?
Yeah.
Like, that's nuts to me.
I saw the Netflix documentary.
Yeah, that's nuts to me. That there's people in this world that, not even by intelligence, not even by, like, their hard work, can be accepted into schools that are pretentious, that just by having the name of that school on a degree can lift them so much higher in life, and not because they worked for it, but because their parents were rich.
Like it's crazy to be like, that kid would have gotten the same SAT score as me, and they had all the advantage and resources, and didn't have shit.
Exactly.
Like we could have the same exact SAT score, unless like if you didn't cheat, to get like a good score to just kind of go under the radar. Like, oh, that makes sense that he got in.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we could have gotten the same exact thing, and you had more resources to your disposal than I did. And what does that say about you? Does it say that you're just, with no matter what resources you didn't have that you're just stupid, or does it say that I'm smart enough regardless of the disadvantages that I have?
Correct.
Like you could look at it either way, and
no,
it
that's
makes
how
sense
I look
either
at
way.
it, bro.
Like,
if you look at someone who lived in a very like poverty driven neighborhood, right, and didn't have the best school system, but is still scoring at a level that someone who was catered and had the best school system in their area, that kid deserves all the praise compared to the one that was catered, because he was at a disadvantage every step of the way while the other one was at a like, advantage.
You could say the one that had the advantage didn't meet the.
That's what I'm saying. He underperformed while the other one overperformed.
Yeah.
Right, because if you're given
even though the numbers are the same.
Yeah, but no, but if you're given everything, you should be outperforming anyone who was given nothing.
Yeah. Because
you're already at a head start. I don't know.
I remember going to SAT prep, and I was like, yo, they asked me, how long have you been in SAT prep? I'm like, this is my first time. I said, oh shit, this is my 18th time being here. Like,
damn.
And this, I was like, what the fuck? The SATs are like in 2 months. You've been here like 18 classes already? Like, and they're like 4-hour long classes. Like, like, SAT prep is no joke. Like, SAT prep is serious, and I was fortunate enough to get it paid by my school, but it was like, I didn't have a calculator. I remember my English teacher stealing a calculator from upstairs and giving it to me.
Calculators be mad expensive. Calculators and textbooks.
Them yellow shits, them yellow calculators.
They be mad expensive for no goddamn reason. You go into college, you be like, a textbook is how much?
Yeah.
For what?
I remember running into some professors that made their own textbooks, that published it, and it's like, yeah, it's only $20.
Bless them.
And it's like, word? And he's like, yeah, and I made it. I was like, that's cool. It's only $20. How'd you set the price? Like, oh, they said the minimum could be X amount, and I just put like a little bit more over. And that's it. So in reality, they're only making like $1 a book.
Yeah.
If that.
Bless them, because there's the companies like that make textbooks are charging way too much for those books that barely get used.
Bro, $300 for an access code.
Never that's forget. What I'm saying. Or like you use that textbook like once or twice.
Bro, I never bought textbooks. Then never used them. Never. I only had to buy the access codes because obviously that's on the computer, and then you got to do homework there. But like, my friend, bless him, shout out to you, Owen. He would always buy the textbook, no matter if we were gonna use it or not. He would buy it before school started, and then me and my friends would be like, "Yo,
photocopy it.
Give me the book real quick." We would have study halls. Like, "Yo, give me the book." It was cool. Like he had it like that, I guess. Yeah. And we just took advantage of the opportunity.
Absolutely.
That's the end of the episode. Thank you guys for listening. I'm Fernando.
Fabrian, the Don, the real Don, the realest Don.
And don't forget to follow us on Spotify. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Share the episode with a friend.
Run the numbers up, my guys.
Run it up. Let's see who gets more numbers, him or his cousin. Let's see who the people prefer.
The people prefer me.
And we'll see you next week.